This is the 2023 Honda Civic Sport Hatchback. Is it worth the sticker price of $26,940? We're going to try and answer that question today. This is platinum white, the exterior color, and the interior is black. So it has a very sporty look to it, obviously being the sport model. And as far as overall cargo capacity, you've got about 10 more cubic feet back here than what you would normally have with the sedan. So 24.4 cubic feet is what you have. Quite a bit back here. You also have the little cargo cover that you can put in place that's hard to put in place one-handed, so I'm not going to do that. But 24.4 cubic feet, you can maximize that. Let's see if I can show you right here. There's the release. You can put the 60-40 split rear seats down like that. Quite a bit of space here, and while you have the hydraulic struts here on the rear for the hatch to hold that up, help it open and hold it up, you don't have that here in the front with the 2-liter 4-cylinder that's under the hood. But you know what the advantage to that is that instead of going with this port right here or having just one size opens for all, so to speak, you can use the Vehicle Visionary port right here that makes it easier to use the prop rod, the manual prop rod, to show off the 2-liter 4-cylinder. This is the naturally aspirated motor. So if you're saying to yourself, I don't want a turbocharged engine, here is a great option for that. Remember, far less than $30,000, so not a bad deal. 158 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 138. It is front-wheel drive, and it's made to do a continuously variable transmission that is well behaved, by the way. And how about those all-important MPGs? Let's see if I can give you a good look at that. 29 city, 27 highway, 32 combined, and 3.1 gallons of gas per every 100 miles you drive. That's not too terribly bad for any vehicle, but especially one that's as fun to drive and handles as well as this Civic hatchback. And for those keen-eyed observers who might say, is that factory window tint? No, it's not. Holmes Honda adds this tint after it comes in, and you might say, what are the percentages? 40 on the front, 25 on the rear, and 12 on the back window here. What do those numbers mean for those who may not be in the know? That's the percentage of light that the windows allow in with that additional tint. And we're going to have a very nice looking sloped rear roofline here. In my personal opinion, that gives the Civic hatchback a little bit more of a sporty and, well, we'll say racy look than that of the sedan. Tell me what you think about that down in the comments section. LED tail lights, going to look very nice, very sporty, kind of convenient to have the sport logo right here as I say that. Kind of a nice segue of sorts. And 235/40 on the tires. That 235 on the width is actually really good because this vehicle handles so well, it feels so well planted to the ground, and that's part of the reason why, because you have a lot of meat holding on to the road, so to speak. And then 235 on the width, 40 on the sidewall size. So that's the size of the sidewall, the height, but still a very good ride. You often get a really rough ride with a shorter sidewall, but here doesn't seem to be an issue, even though it's not too short, not really low profile, and 18-inch gloss black wheels. The headlights, just like the taillights, are going to be LED, as are the daytime running lights. A very nice look here with the turn signal. You want to make sure you use that because it lets people around you know what you're doing. They don't have to guess. And it looks cool too, so all kinds of advantages there. The nice honeycomb grille, and I really like the fact that it's not too big here. Where it meets as far as the front end, the line with this slope comes down. You've got your Honda logo right here. And really, that's just the right size as far as that honeycomb designed grille. Even the lower grille, a little bit of that honeycomb design as well. It's the right size too. The front splitter, while not very big, it is good here. It looks nice. You have that flat black or matte black here, which is really good because this area is obviously going to pick up a lot of rocks and debris when you're driving down the road. Matte black holds up so much better than gloss black, so that's a good thing. And what about safety features? Honda sensing, and it's going to be the camera-based system, not the radar base that we used to have. So here's where that actually is located. So what all is there? You've got traffic jam assist, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation. You might say, what is traffic jam assist? That works in conjunction with lane keeping assist. It works at speeds of 45 miles per hour and below, and it basically helps to keep the vehicle in its lane. It makes it easier when you're dealing with a lot of traffic. So if you're wondering about what that is, well, now you know. And a couple of things to show here. You do have remote start. That's always good. And if you want to know how does that work, all you have to do is just hold it down until the vehicle starts. So we'll let it do that real quick. Well, maybe not real quick. There we go. It takes a few seconds. So that way you know if you ever want to use remote start, if it doesn't seem to be working, just keep your finger down there on the button, hold it down, and it will start. Now, one thing I want to point out here, you do have capless fuel fill, and you'll notice that I just walked up and opened the gas door without a problem. Good news, you could probably hear that, it just locked. So when you lock the interior, you have also locked the gas door. And we'll go ahead and hop into the back seat area here. You do have soft touch materials here that feel very comfortable if you put your arm on that armrest like this, which obviously you probably won't be doing because you're the driver, right? You're the owner and the driver. But if you ever do sit back here, at least you know maybe somebody else can take over driving for a while. And then you can put a reasonable sized water bottle here, maybe stuff some snacks in there, whatever the case is. And then we'll hop on into the back seat. Not a lot going on back here, but you do have a reasonable amount of headroom. Let's see if I can show that to you. There we go. You can see how much space I have above my head. If you're 5'11" or above, that is probably where you need to be sitting, or maybe here, if you can grab the remote in time. Being the sport trim level, you're not going to have connectivity back here or the rear roof, or excuse me, air conditioning vents on the center console, but still a lot of space back here. If you're driving spiritedly, well, there's the oh crap handle for your passengers to grab a hold of. And basically a mirror image here on the passenger side door of what we saw on the rear door. A little bit more space with the front door bin. So if you're a door bin snob and you want the largest door bin possible, you better call Shotgun, or, well, you're not going to be in luck there. So as you can see, we don't have a lot of plastic here, and for those of you who may not like that, that's good. You're going to have a different type of material, at least in these areas right here. You do have the manual adjustable passenger and driver's seats, so that's going to be part of the sport trim level. We're going to have a nice look here. Well, we'll say it's sporty as far as the overall design of the material for the seats. And then we'll hop on inside here. Obviously, a little bit more of that honeycomb look that we saw on the front end. It carries its way into the interior with the air conditioning vents. The only way you know those are air conditioning vents is that you have the adjustment for the angle right here for the vent itself, or you can close it right there. But it's seamless as far as how it flows its way across. And then we're going to have what I call the gloveless glove box, because I rarely, if ever, find gloves in the glove box. You know, we gave the cargo capacity numbers in cubic feet back here, or back in the rear of the cargo area back there. I wonder if we could give how many gloves you could fit in the glove box. That probably will vary depending on the size of your gloves. Now, you do have some connectivity here in the way of a USB port and a power outlet, the 12-volt power outlet right there. And if you're not a fan of the push button shifter, well, good news, you don't have that here. You have the conventional style shifter, your cup holders right here. You can change driving modes here, turn the pesky auto stop start feature off, or what people call idle stop a lot. There's your power parking brake and brake hold mode, something else that's helpful in traffic. So you push that, and what happens is when you come to a complete stop, the brakes stay engaged until you push the gas pedal again. So that could have a lot of advantages. And then the multitasking lid for the console. It's also an armrest. And what do we have here when we open the console? Well, you have the removable tray that can go in a couple of different spots here, depending on what you want to do, as well as quite a bit of space down there within the center console. Now, this is the sport trim level, guys, so we're not going to have a sunroof here. I know some people don't want a sunroof necessarily, so for those who don't, that's good news. We'll also take a look at the visor here for blocking the sun or saying hello to everybody who's watching. There's your vanity mirror. And let's see here, it does go back and will fully block the sun, so that's a good thing. So if the guys from the straight pipes are watching, well, now you know what it has. I didn't let you down. By the way, I don't want you to be misinformed or lacking knowledge. So if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, what is the frame number on your Honda Civic hatchback? you'll know what to do because it's found right here. Let's see if I can open that compartment up. And there is where you'll find your frame number, in case you're wondering about what that is right there. And before we hop into the front seat, one thing I like to point out is that you activate the child safety locks here on these rear doors. Often you do it on the driver's side door panel, but here you're going to use this switch. So when it's in the upright position like this, as you can see the indicating arrow pointing down towards the lock, well, now the child safety locks are active. And when we push it back up like that, they are not. Just something that a lot of people, I think, should be aware of, especially if you're going to check out your Civic when there's nobody around to help you. If you get trapped in the back seat, if both doors are locked, then you'd have to climb through the pass-through. That might be hard. Now, you'll just have to take my word for it, because there's the don't roll down the sticker, or the don't roll down the windows sticker, Tom, letting me know that they've been freshly tinted. So here are the controls for those power side view mirrors, your door locks, and obviously everything for the mirrors right here. You can also turn traction control off right there if you want to, among other features. And I'll let you just hear the sound, kind of chime that you hear when you hop into the interior. And here we go with the dashboard. A very nice look there. You can see everything that's there. It's very easy to use, very easy to figure out. And if you want to go through some of these features right here, well, here's what you have. I'm going to show you what you have. I'm not going to go through everything in great detail, but just so you can see what you have, your safety support settings right there. Everything is there, and all I'm doing is just scrolling through with this wheel right here. Here is everything for your adaptive cruise control, and there is how you turn on those blinkers I was telling you about earlier, that I know not everybody has been through the complicated course to learn how to use those. You push it into the up position when you're turning to the right or changing lanes to the right, and the same thing for the down position when you're going to the left, just in case you were wondering and thought, well, yeah, that's kind of a tough matter to deal with, right? Now, I can't say anything sarcastic about this lever over here. That's how you control the windshield wipers and the rear window wiper. So in case you were curious, and your touch screen right here, very easy to use, very easy to figure out. So quite a bit there. Again, I'm not going to go through every single thing that's here, but there is a lot you can go through and change a lot of different settings. And by the way, if you notice that kind of flickering effect or flashing effect, that has nothing to do with the screen. That has to do with my GoPro. I don't know why these GoPros do that. It's to do with shutter speed, but I just don't know why. It just works that way. And a little bit of gloss black. We didn't talk about that earlier as far as the trim goes here. So if you like gloss black, well, you have some of that here. And your single zone climate control. I'm in the habit of saying dual. It is single here, but it's here. Very easy to use, very easy to figure out. It's going to do a good job of getting the interior nice and warm or nice and cool, depending on your situation. And since we're here, and I can show you now, let me show you the driving modes as far as what you have. You've got normal, you have econ, and that's all you have here. Kind of unusual not to have sport mode necessarily as far as being in the sport version of the Civic. So there's what we have. But you know what? Even though we don't have sport mode, what is it like to drive this Civic? Well, let's hop out on the road and find out for ourselves. Okay, what about the test driving experience? Well, the thing that impressed me the most, I'll never forget the first time I drove one of these 11th generation Civics. It wasn't a hatchback, but they're going to handle the same way. But I was very impressed by the overall handling characteristics. Honda retuned the suspension and the chassis, and the difference is so evident that the car really feels a lot faster than it really is because it stays so planted into the road. When you're taking it through corners and driving spiritedly, it literally feels as if it's suctioned to the road. It's too bad that person's eyes weren't suctioned to the fact that I was coming up as they did, even though they hopped into the left-hand lane like that. But I would imagine they like to pull out in front of people all the time. Very interesting to see what happens here on our test drives. Sorry, I was distracted by another bad driver. And by the way, even though you can't see, there's nobody behind me. Nobody. So, guess they couldn't wait for one more car. Anyway, sorry about that. The car feels so suctioned to the road. It really feels like it's being sucked down to the pavement. it just handles so well. Unfortunately, with this corner coming up here, I can't take this corner the way I would like to. There's just too much around, so just one of those things. But I guarantee you, if you were to drive one of these Civics and have not driven one before, the 11th generation, you would understand what I'm saying. What about the overall ride quality? The riding quality is good. The seating is comfortable. Obviously, there are other trim levels you can buy and have different features and functionality and upgrade quite a bit. You can have more USB ports, you can have wireless charging, you can have a lot more. But for what you get here, it's really amazing in this day and age to have all of the things that we have here. It does have the rear view camera, which is standard on all vehicles. Now, you won't buy a new vehicle that doesn't have a rear view camera anymore. But for everything you get here, for the price, you're really getting quite a bit. It's not very easy to find everything you have here with this particular Civic for less than $30,000, really less than $27,000. So tell me down in the comments section, is this 2023 Honda Civic Hatchback Sport worth the sticker price? Tell me what your answer is and tell me why you answered the way that you did. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this 2023 Civic Hatchback for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.